How pretty is the location? The water's so clear. I was wondering if there was any stingrays. I don't know if you can see. Look how clear the water is. It's pretty cool, eh? Hey, I'm in a question and answer mode today. So if you've got questions for me, please type them in. I want to answer people's questions today. I'm all ears and I'm listening and I'm here to answer your questions. So go ahead, ask me something. I want to answer questions today. And tell me how you're feeling too. It's such a beautiful day here on the Sunshine Coast. I would love to know if you have any questions. And whilst I wait for the questions to come through, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm like, I want to answer people's questions today. Maybe I'm in a helping mode. I think I'm always in a helping mode. Let me know your questions. Hey, Dave. Hey, Alina. I was going to message you because I released the ebooks last night, and I remember you asking me about the Heart Chakra ebook a long time ago. So I'll post the link in the comments, unless you might have already seen it there. So whilst I wait for questions to come through, please type them in the comments because I want to answer some questions. Or if you want me to pull a card for you, I can pull a card for you. Even though I don't have my cards, I can intuitively pull. I'm just going to wait. A live stream with you guys. It's so pretty here today. I was wondering what to talk about. And I'm like wondering I was like, well, I want to answer some questions. And I was just going to share something, but now got so many questions. Now the questions are coming through. Yay. All right. So Alina says, what direction should I go in? I'm having a struggle week. I'm looking for what way to go. Okay. First thing comes to mind when I read your comment, Alina, is that astrologically, it's been really big since the full moon. Apparently it was I don't know if it was a micro full moon or something, right? And I read, it's on Elizabeth Peru's post. I haven't shared it. I was going to, and then I didn't. But she said something about, I don't know, some cosmic shifts, right? And then she said something like all the sensitive beings or something have been, kind of hitting. This is not what she said. This is my interpretation of it. So it's like, all the sensitive beings have been hitting not a wall, but hitting some shit, right? And what she said, like there's been a cosmic kind of on the planet or something, and us sensitive beings and light workers are working through, yes, our own shit, but it's like collective and it's cosmic. And she even said in the post, she's like, oh, and thank you for that. And I was like, oh yeah, like there has been some pretty heavy shit in the past 2 weeks, myself included, been going through some big stuff. So you're looking for what way to go. Out of the Archangel Michael deck has just come to mind the card, the situation is already resolved, and it feels to me for you like, that space of, like I'm getting the message like don't worry or don't stress, like the situation's working itself out without you even doing anything. So don't, like, there's nothing you kind of can do to kind of make it better or worse, or it's just kind of like just step back and just like it's already resolved sort of thing. Like there's nothing more you can do or say or anything like that. So kind of getting that message for you. It's a big decision you're making or not making. Yep. Yes, 4 weeks resolving. Yeah. So just I'm kind of getting the message, just kind of sit back for a bit, like, and I'm hearing it's a big decision that you're making, but it just feels like at this time, like just I'm kind of getting a week, like literally letting go of the situation, and you can be like handing the situation over to Archangel Michael. That came to mind, so I'd be calling on him. Yeah, I'm hearing it's a hard one, and I have a feeling I understand why I'm getting the message of what that decision is that you need to make. I'm getting that intuitively, so I'm hearing that, and I'm also getting the message for you to just step back and just give it a week, and like give it a week of consciously, I'm thinking about it again. Okay, here, Archangel Michael, have it. Here, take it, or give it to nature or the sun or whatever, is, your spirit helper, your universe, your guide. Yeah, lots of tears. There's been, like, in the past 2 to 4 weeks, like since that full moon really stirred things up, like I guess, it was just kind of, we just hit another wave or something. But it just feels like, there has been a lot of relationships either making it or breaking it as well. So, like and it's the relationships that have been going through shit. So, just kind of, just be gentle on yourself and just step back for a week, like you go crazy trying to figure it out. Am I making the right decision? And I don't know, like, this, and then you kind of make a decision and then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, right? And then just getting the message for you, just step back, give it a week. A week of you consciously handing it over, okay, is the key, okay? Every time you're thinking about it again, okay, here, hand it over. Oh, I'm thinking about it again, hand it over, even if it's every second of every day, okay? You're tangled up, yeah, and that's why I'm getting you need to kind of detach from it for a bit, and like there's nothing more that you can say or do that will change any part of the situation right now. So it's just a matter of you filling your cup up, getting comfortable in yourself, like self-care is what I'm getting for you just for the next week. Hand it over, I'm not thinking about this, and it's that card that came, the situation is already resolved, there's nothing more you need to do. Like everything that will happen is supposed to happen, is not supposed to happen, is, just let it go, yeah? For a week. Let it go for a week and then make a decision sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like if the card that came was the situation is already resolved, you don't need to try and do anything else but take care of yourself for the next week, and just go from there, okay? All right. Hey, there's some new people joined. It's Q&A today. I feel like answering questions. If you want me to pull a card for you, I can pull a card for you. Intuitively, I'm pulling cards because I don't have my cards, but I don't need physical cards to pull cards for people. So just type your questions in. Could be anything. Could be about my life. Could be about your life. Could be about the universe. Could be about anything. I want to answer some questions, so please type them in the comments. Anything that you've ever wanted to ask, go for it. So, Kristen says, hello, can you pull a card for me, please? Got so many questions. All right, let's pull a card for you. Kristen. Hey, Linda. Hey, Amy. For sure. I'll come back to that shortly, Alina. All right, so if you've got any questions for me about anything, please just type in the comments. All right, so Kristen, I'm pulling a card for you. What's coming up for you? Out of the Archangel Raphael deck, I'm getting the addiction card, like releasing addictions. I don't know if there is a releasing addictions card, but Archangel Raphael is coming through really strongly, and that's the message that I'm getting for you around that. It feels like I don't even know what card it is, but it's because I know Archangel Raphael helps with addictions, so I'm wondering if there's something. I'm getting like food stuffs for you, like food and body related, like health, fitness, stomach, sacral, digestive stuff going on for you. And I'm kind of getting cut back. I don't know if you eat gluten and stuff like that, but I'm kind of getting a message to just kind of maybe go easy on it or change some sort of thing in that regard. There's something going on there for you. Wondering what else for you there about that. And releasing addictions, like that's the kind of first thing that came up. And then the sacral chakra, which is where your addictions kind of stem from and sit in your sacral. And with that, I'm kind of, I'm getting, I don't know, is there like a repeating pattern or something going on for you, Kristen? It says you said you had many questions, you got so many questions, but I'm feeling like it's like almost, and I don't know what you're going to ask, there's a million questions, right? But it feels like all these questions here, and they're the same core issue, right? Which is probably why I'm getting the message of addictions and stuff, because if there's one core issue and there's all these stuff going on up here, this, ultimately they're the addictions that are covering up this, that kind of needs to be delved in. And it feels like, and it's sitting in your sacral or kind of solar plexus sacral, like around your gut, stomach, there. So, if something... You thought about chocolate. So maybe something around that, if there's a repetitive pattern going on that you're trying to shift, it's probably worth looking at that. I'm curious about what level of the Lightwork practitioner training you're up to. Is it level 2 that we're going to wounds? Anyway, I'm curious about that for you. There's something sitting there in that. So asking Archangel Raphael to help with that too. It just feels like some healing around the sacral there for you. So I hope that helps. Yes, digestion makes sense. Yes, I do feel it down there. Bread, I'm just about the end of level 4. Oh, that makes sense. Level 5, I'm wondering if you're going through, because level 5 is all the clay stuff, which is when I first thought about the wounds, I'm like, oh, you need the clay processes around the wounds. So you're kind of already onto it, you know, like that's the consciousness. You're just about the end of level 4. Like that's just, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, with working with the chakra consciousness, when you're at that, you know, like you're at level 4, you're already in level 5, you know, like that's just the way consciousness works. If you know, consciously working through it or not, you're doing it anyway, sort of thing. Having a conscious understanding is really helpful. So you're not just like thinking you're crazy and what the fuck's going on. So yeah, and I was getting about the bread, like gluten and stuff. So maybe just have a break from bread for a week or something, or grains even. Just give your gut a rest in that regard. And it's also, you know, in that regard, it's also like you're trying to digest life and it's not working for you or whatever, yeah? So that's all interkind. Yes, I'm planning to go through level 5. Yes, had the same in level 3 to 4. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it always happens. I'm like, oh, as soon as I got that question, like that at the very start, I was like, level 5. But I was like, oh, yes, like, because you'll go through the wound processes there for sure. All right, who else has a question for me? Ask me anything. All right, so Amy says, I think I'm up to, yeah, Amy, hello, just wondering if there are any messages for you. Okay, let me see what messages are for Amy. Getting heart chakra stuff for you, Amy. The trees just suddenly jumped out at me when I'm looking over there, like really, really clear. And obviously the green and the heart chakra, I'm kind of getting relationship stuff for you. I'm wondering if there's like, well, it feels like there's some grief in the heart, or something about a long lost love or something. It feels like there's like a thread there, about wanting to, I don't know, there's a holding on of a thread of a long lost love. And I'm really getting your arms as well. And I'm wondering if you doing yoga or anything like that. It feels like to kind of work through, I don't know if you do yoga or not, but I was just thinking to open your heart and open your heart chakra. It just feels like there's an old thread there. And I don't even know if it's it just feels like there's a bit of grief there around a relationship of some sort. It feels old though, and it feels like something that's, I don't know, sounds crazy when I'm about to say this. I'm like, I don't know what's going on in your life. But it's almost stemming back from like when you were 14, 15 years old. There's a thread there. So I don't know if you've had something going on in your life that's kind of a repeating pattern or something like that at the moment, because that is stemming from when you were 14, 15, if something happened around there in a particular relationship or family, even like big family changes when you're that age or something like that. But it feels like that's contributing to the situation in the present. So if there's stuff going on right now, that's kind of where that's coming from. So I'll wait to hear if that's resonating for you, something about that, but definitely get that heart open, yeah? Alina, is your pop around you and your kids? My question to you, Alina, about that is, do you feel or notice signs or just start randomly thinking about your pop, or want a food that you had when you were with your pop, or does certain memories come back out of the blue because that's your grandfather talking to you? So if you're already questioning it, my sense is that you are getting some sort of messages like that and you are questioning it. And when you start questioning it, don't question it because you just know. And I'm also getting the message that he's helping you with the decision that you need to make right now. So he is supporting you. So, you know, if you're feeling that, then yeah, just trust all of that you're picking up because that's him. Yeah. All right, Bren. Yes, just wondering your favorite smoothie ingredient, my favorite recipe. You know what? I don't drink a lot of smoothies. You know, people seem to think that I have like this full raw food lifestyle, and to be honest, I eat fucking everything, right? Just recently, at the start of June, I did start eating, you know, 100% raw, and you know, just going back to that. But at the same time, I say 100% raw, but I make lamb broths, you know, like from scratch. So out of the Nourishing Traditions book, the Sally Fallon style of cooking, like making the slow cooked bone broths. And I've been having, you know, like for example, been eating pretty raw throughout the day, especially just in June. But, you know, been having like your lamb broths with some poached eggs. So like cook the eggs in the lamb broth, just slow cooked on the stove in the morning with some sauerkraut. It's kind of my breakfast, and then, you know, I eat raw for the most of the day. As for a favorite smoothie, like I don't know, it was a while ago that I was, you know, eating a lot of raw food and had a lot of smoothies, but it just got to a point where I was like having a green smoothie made me feel sick. Now, I don't know, you know, I wasn't really following any recipes. It was just like, you know, I always make my own stuff up. And, you know, maybe that was the case. I mean, if I go out to a cafe or something and they've got a nice smoothie and I feel like, why not have one? But for a while there, they were making me feel sick, so I stopped having them. Green juices and juices, on the other hand, I love juices. If I have a juice, and I've been having a lot of juices in this past couple of weeks because I've been going back and changing my diet a fair bit. So like my favorite green juice would be, like, it's kind of a standard thing, celery, lemon, apple, ginger. What's the other thing? So there's celery, lemon, apple, ginger. Celery, lemon, apple, ginger. And then some kind of green. So whether it's like the dandelion that I pick from my garden, or lettuce, or I don't know, what am I thinking of? Baby spinach or something. There's some sort of green in the juice as well. So that's kind of my standard though. The celery and the apple and the lemon and the ginger is kind of the base, and then just whatever green in that. And if I get creative, well, then I'll put something else in it as well. But that's kind of standard. I made a really yummy one the other day. It was mandarin, green apple, lemon, lime, and ginger, turmeric, and then I put some cayenne pepper in it as well. So yummy. Made like 4 litres of juice the other day. It was so good. It was on my story the other day. So I hope that answers your question. If I did have a smoothie, you know, like if I'm going to if I'm at a cafe and I feel like one, I usually go for the berries and the chia seeds and stuff like that, but it's just not a common thing that I'll have a smoothie. Maybe as I'm getting back into more raw and changing my diet, maybe down the track I might have them again. But I don't know, it just got to a point where I was like, whoa, and it just made me feel sick. Because if you ask my friend Deanna, my best friend, she'll tell you that, you know, she's like, I can't believe you drink those things. Because when I was drinking them, they were really bitter. Like, I wouldn't make nice green smoothies. I'd know what's good for me, even though it didn't taste good, and I'd drink it. And people are like, how do you stomach that? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just normal. I'm like, it's good for you. And I'd have, you know, like, it'd be quite bitter with all the greens and, you know, stuff in it. But I don't know, got to a point where I was like, oh, I can't stomach them anymore. So maybe I will one day, but I'm kind of just mindful of that. All right, I'll just check these comments. Dandelion sounds good. Yeah, and the dandelion off the, you know, like I learnt all my kind of, I guess, raw food juicing stuff. I mean, raw food from a lot of people. There's Scott Mathias on the Sunshine Coast here. But when I fully went raw and did my raw cleanse, because what started it is I was kind of, you know, doing it, and then, you know, the Nourishing Traditions and paleo style was kind of, you know, norm anyway. But then when the doctor told me I had to get my gallbladder out, I was like, no. And I went raw, strict raw the next day, and I went like strict raw for 3 months, and I followed the specific gallbladder and liver cleanse from Marcus Rothkrantz. I love his work, and I've learnt so much about all this stuff from his work. So yeah, the dandelion, that's what I was getting to. Like there's a specific dandelion, like he's got a, I don't know what you call it, like a raw wild food, thing, but I did learn about the dandelion and even putting aloe vera in the smoothie as well. So if you just Google his stuff, he's got a million YouTube videos and so much free stuff. But the dandelion isn't the normal dandelion, by the way. If anyone's going, I can eat my dandelion, there's different varieties of it, and you want to pick the dandelion and turn the leaf over and make sure it's smooth. So like a lot of dandelions are all kind of hairy and prickly. You want the smooth that's on the other side when you turn it over, on the vein sort of thing. It's got to be smooth. There's no hair on it, so there's a specific variety. And then the aloe vera, it's not the skin, so you kind of peel the skin off. You can cut the spikes off, peel the skin off, and then wash all the kind of gooey stuff, and you can put that in smoothies and stuff. But Marcus Rothkrantz and Cara Brockman are awesome. They've got a million YouTube videos where I learnt a lot of my stuff. So Ren says, have you tried like a spoonful of vanilla protein powder to Yeah, see, I wasn't using protein powders and stuff. So we're talking close to 3.5, 4 years ago when I did that 100% raw cleanse because the doctor said I was going to get my gallbladder out. So, and I wasn't using protein powders or anything at that point when I was doing them. It was just purely, I might have put some nuts in there or some chia seeds or something like that, but not any of the powders. So yeah, so if I was to try smoothies again, I would probably, obviously consciously be more mindful not to make them so bad because I won't stomach them. But even, making them now, I mean, if I did make one, I'd make it for a sweet taste, not necessarily for a health thing. So I'd still use, if I use, for example, if I made one, it would be probably similar to what I would buy. So it'd be like almond milk, chia seeds, some berries, maybe a banana, and then probably some protein powder or something, because I do have those these days. So yes. Yeah, it is amazing. There's so much stuff. I learnt so much from Marcus Rothkrantz. All right. So Amy says, makes a lot of sense. You're very welcome. All right, I'm just checking these comments. So if you just join the live stream, I'm doing question and answer. I feel like answering people's questions today. Ask me anything, or if you've got a question about your life, if you want me to pull a card, don't have my cards, but intuitively pulling them. Okay, Deb. So wondering if any messages from your parents who have passed away. Okay. Wondering how long ago they passed away. Your mum's coming through pretty strongly. I'm seeing like a black or chocolate Labrador dog. Unsure if that has any specific meaning for you or not. And then just getting like a big red love heart as well. So lots of love there. Feels like I guess the dog could be a symbol for the unconditional love as well. I'm kind of getting the message around a necklace. Is there, I don't know, and you don't have to answer these questions unless you want to. The more clarity I get, the more clarity that shares like back and forth that way. Yeah, something about a necklace. I'm not sure what that is for you either. If that has any significance for you at all. And seeing like a house as well with like a pool and, I don't know, children. So I'm curious how long ago that they did pass away. Wondering if that's kind of childhood memories or something like that. But I'm also getting the message that she's really around you right now too. Your dad not so much. Doesn't feel like they're both there, but it feels like, I don't know, has she been even making her presence known to you at all around anything, or kind of memories flicking back around certain things? getting a lot of heart stuff as well, and throat even. I'm wondering if you've got words that you kind of didn't or need to express to her. Sometimes when people pass away, especially if it's suddenly, or sometimes people will pass away and we regret that things that we didn't say or anything like that. I'm getting lots of throat stuff for you actually, so I'm wondering if there's unspoken words that you wish that you had have said, and I'm wondering if your dad too, because I'm not really picking him up, but if there's any like unresolved issues with him too that you need to, but I'm kind of getting it's more of your mum, and I'm really getting like you really need to speak about that to her. So just having a mental conversation. Obviously you can write a letter, you can ask to see them in your dreams as well, like have that communication in your dreams. Do that. Obviously, if we had a mediumship session, I can go deep into the relationship stuff, because even when somebody passes over, obviously their spirit is still very well and alive. It's just the physical body that dies. The consciousness of this and the soul does not go anywhere. Well, I don't know, they go, who knows where they go, right? But they're still alive, yeah, very much. And all the relationship dynamics are still there, because everything is energetics. Everything is still 100% there. So yeah, I'm really getting, it's like almost like a big tickle in my throat. Just feels like there's something that, needs to be voiced between you two. And I'm wondering if the dog is symbolic for you, or whether it is just symbolic for that unconditional love, and that she does, love you very much. But it just feels like there's some relationship stuff going on there. And I'm also wondering if that's kind of affecting a part of your life in being able to receive, or holding back words for fear of rejection in current relationships, or even on the flip scale of like speaking too much and all the time instead of listening. That would be more the case, like because you have trouble listening to other people, like, and listening to their point of view maybe. It just feels like there's some sort of communication stuff there. So happy for you to private message me about that if you'd like to just delve into that a bit more. I do specific mediumship sessions. All right. And I'm kind of getting the message, like with your dad, just because he's not here now, it doesn't mean that he doesn't come around. But, with mediumship and people who have passed over, if there is unresolved issues, they usually will be hanging around. Like, yes, people come and visit and, and just say hello and check in on their loved ones, of course. But if there is unresolved issues, sometimes, and this is not just for you, there's a couple of people talking about mediumship here today. Yeah. So mediumship's the theme today. Grateful that I asked. Obviously I was getting the nudge from people, from spirit world. So like if there is unresolved issues when somebody passes over, that soul can be hanging around to resolve the issues because, unwillingly and like unknowingly to us, it's kind of like we are keeping them here, or even, in our grief, we're keeping them here on the earth planet plane, instead of them being able to go and do whatever souls do when we pass over. So like I said, they can just be to hang around and say hi, but if it's I'm getting the message for you specifically, Dad. Deb, Dad. Okay, maybe there is stuff around the dad too about that. So I hope that helps. Amy says she's thinking of doing yoga too. Awesome. Was getting that, needing to, open that heart up for you. All right. Alina, always thinking of him. Yeah. It feels like he's hanging around you at the moment with that decision stuff going on. All right, so Alicia, do I have any messages for you? You've had so many changes since I did the tarot card for you, lots of endings and new beginnings. I did see, I think you changed job or got a new job or something like that. What's coming through for Alicia? Oh, I'm kind of getting throat stuff for you as well straight away, actually. Wondering how you're feeling about all these changes. So when changes happen, they're, like any change, if you read my blog the other day on the 2 most common questions that people ask me, if you haven't read that, I highly recommend reading it. It is a long read, but it's a good read. And that, what am I getting to there? Okay, so any changes that are going on, right? Any change triggers the grief cycle. Now, the grief cycle is a 4 or 5 stage process, and I highly recommend having a look and a read over them because they're significant in that fact that it helps us to, you know, let go of past and then move into the present and not to bring the baggage and, you know, all that sort of thing. So the kind of message that I'm getting for you, is there something that needs to be expressed about these changes? You know, like even if you hated your old job and, you know, were glad to get out there, it's still a change and we're still adjusting to a new change. So, and I'm getting goosebumps saying this for you. So it feels like, you know, it's kind of like, oh my God, so much is going on and I got to do this. And like, it feels like it's happened all really quickly as well for you. And that's kind of like, there's no processing time. But then when you settle into the new and it's kind of like, oh my God, what has happened? You know, like, whoa, you know, and that expression, I feel like there might be some grief or just, you know, sadness around the changes, you know, could be, you know, there's obviously joy around new beginnings as well. But, you know, if you know, need to have a cry or something happens and you just, tears actually release the stress hormone cortisol. So really important that if you do ever feel like crying, just allow yourself to cry because the quicker you move through that grief cycle, you know, the easier it is. And when you have that understanding of the grief cycle, you can be a bit more compassionate with yourself and just have that space of, you know, just allowing your human emotions. So I highly recommend having a read of that article if you didn't read that already. And for a card for you is the Archangel Michael card, the New Beginnings card. And I'm just kind of getting the message around feeling safe and knowing that, you know, like I'm really hearing that around, you know, trust these changes and, you know, they lead you to where you want to go because it feels like they kind of were out of the blue or they happened quickly or it was just like, you know, suddenly. And I'm getting the message that, you know, these were beneficial changes needed to happen, you know, all that sort of thing. Okay, so there's a few new people on here. If you want me to ask you a question, just type it, or answer a question for you, just type it in the comments. I'm answering questions today. Ask me anything about my life, your life, anything at all, universe, whatever. So I hope that helps, Alicia. I'm just kind of getting, you know, in that safety message, like that new beginnings and trust these new beginnings and that sort of thing, like be okay with it. And, you know, like when there is change, sometimes we can go into fear or we kind of like doubt. We're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, you know, and that doubt and that kind of questioning is just like you're almost at the finish line, like you're almost through the hardest parts of the thing. So just know if you kind of have any questions that come up going, oh, I don't know, that you're just moving forward. Yeah, just go, oh, I'm questioning this, I'm doubting it. Okay, cool, let's keep moving forward because it's just going to keep you stuck. Yeah. So yeah, and sorry, that trust and that safety. So any change can trigger fear because we're like, oh my God, and it's all new. So we're learning and all these brainwaves come in and we're learning new things and, you know, all the new neural pathways it can feel overwhelming at times because it's new, right? And it's just because you're learning something new. So just be gentle on yourself. It's just like learning to drive a car or learning to do something new and then you get used to it, yeah? So that's the message I'm getting for you. All right. Okay, Tammy. I really enjoy listening to you today. And as always, any messages? Yeah, thank you for listening today. Okay, any messages for Tamison? It's kind of the same messages I've been getting for you, but it feels like you're really coming into your power. I just got the sense that you're like, it's like, I know you did that picture the other day and it's just like this emerging, but it feels like such a empowerment coming from the inside out. Like it's like your light or your soul or whatever it is just energetically like expanding from the inside out, like your solar plexus. And I was really getting your heart. Like it's just so strong. Like it's just this beaming like of just like this, pretty much what you drew, like this. It's just like opening, and it's kind of like, it's not like a I'm better than you. It's just like a, whoa, I am here, yeah, and nothing can knock me. Like it's, you know, it's not even that's a conscious thing, but it's like that's the sense of it. It's just like, whoa, okay, and just, you know, like really getting from that sense of just like nothing can knock you. You're on the right path. Anything that happens you can handle, like, you know, full, yeah, it's big, yeah. So just keep dropping into that heart space if you ever feel any doubt around that because it's so strong. That's my message for you. Sonia, hi Hannah, had loads of mixed and confusing emotions leading up to the new moon. Yes, feels like a weight has lifted off since new moon is here. Oh yeah, it is new moon today. I forgot to put that in the comments. In the title, it is new moon. I think it was new moon at 12:30. No, is it new moon? Yes, it is new moon. 12:30 lunchtime today. I was laying on the beach in the sun doing fuck all. It was brilliant. So that's how I like to start my new moon. Wow, that's what I was doing. That's cool. And yeah, there has been a lot of mixed and confusing emotions coming up for a lot of people. I'm hearing that that's going on for you specifically, but it feels like for a lot of people, and as I was saying to Alina on the start of this live stream, that Elizabeth Peru did say that it's kind of another wave that had hit, and us sensitive beings are working through our shit, because that's what we do as healers, as conscious aware people, as, you know, anyone who thinks outside the box. Basically, when we're working through our shit, we're doing it for the collective. It's just kind of what happens. You know, it's like that 100th monkey syndrome, and the other thing of, what is it, one positive person can counteract, I don't know, some huge amount of negative, you know, people sort of thing. So when we're working through our stuff, we're doing it for the greater good of all. Feels like a weight has lifted since the new moon is here. Yeah, it does. I was even feeling that. I forgot about that too, because I was feeling pretty shit this morning, and I was like, oh, it's like, oh, and I'm like, well, I did just give birth to 9 books online last night. I was just like, okay, just take it easy this morning, as I went surfing and went to sat on the beach, and really nice, and loved it. And I was just going to say something. Yeah, and that makes sense too. Like, you know, if it was still peak dark moon technically at lunchtime, it's just like, you know, but I felt that shift too. So yay for that, Sonia. Yeah, definitely fuel. You're welcome, Thomason. All right, Alicia says, yes, spot on, Hannah. All these changes have happened within the last 3 weeks and completely unexpected. I will have a read. Thank you so much. You're making me miss Queensland. I know, I was on the beach today. Oh, the comment has cut off. It says you're making me miss Queensland, and then all I can see is looks. I know, how beautiful is this? I'm in Maroochydore. I've found this awesome spot. Look, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like this, like there's all these canal homes there. But it's just like this little decking thing, and I've come here before and just sat here, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice, just being so close to the water. But yeah, I was in my bikinis at the beach today. It was a little bit cold in the wind, but that sun was warm, and I went surfing today, and it was nice. I think you're in Melbourne, and it's probably fucking freezing down there. So yeah. So if anyone doesn't have any more questions, I'm going to jump off this live stream and go and have a sauna with Craig. So I'm wondering, I'm just checking I answered all these questions. So if you can I'll just give it a couple of minutes because I know it's delayed, but if you've got a question for me, if you've just jumped on, I'm happy to wait for that question to come through. You can ask a question about me or you or anything. I'm all ears, baby. All right, I've covered all the questions. Good, sometimes I've been missing them. And I'll just wait. Yep. Yeah, pretty much. I know someone else said that. Oh yeah, he was in Tasmania, Nick. He's like, because I said, oh well, I'll just sat, because on Wednesday as well I went and sat in the sun, because for me I need sunlight, like I need the sunlight on my skin. It just shifts so much stuff for me, and then using the visualizations of the sun actually, you know, the sun rays going in through my skin, into my blood, into my bones, my organs, my DNA, like allowing those rays consciously in through the pores of my skin, in through my entire body. Highly recommend. You know, and just allowing, you know, like what does sunlight do? It kills germs, it kills mold, it kills, you know, so much. It gives you vitamin D for all the health benefits. So, you know, when you're in the sunlight, allowing it actually to come into your pores, like just visualizing it coming through your pores, into your blood, your skin, your bones, like the whole thing, yeah? DNA can affect everything. All right. I don't think anyone's got any more questions. That's fine. Thanks for asking me questions today. I really felt like answering questions today. So as you would have seen, or maybe you didn't, but I'm going to tell you again anyway, I've released the 9 chakra consciousness books that I wrote several years ago. I wrote 9 books in 10 months. That was to do the Lightfield Yoga workshops, and now the Lightfield Yoga is online, and also the ebooks are available. All of them, you can buy them as a set, or you can just buy whatever particular one. So if you need some throat chakra healing, or if you need some heart chakra healing, you can buy those books individually. In the books, every chakra has got audio meditations that I've channeled and created. So you don't need to buy the audio. There's 2 separate options that you can just get the book and just read it. But I have recorded the audios, and there's a separate option if you just wanted to get the audio meditations as well. So you can just look on there, and you can kind of just scroll down, because I've kind of listed, like heart chakra for releasing grief, or past relationships, or, opening your ears for fertility issues, third eye for helping you see through relationship stuff and how to work through that. There's lots of different things there. So, and I'm a bit excited because on my birthday last year, I got a download, so powerful download. And I actually saw how my website's going to be, and I've just been working on, trust, intuition. Yay, thanks, Sonia. Yeah, it was such a huge achievement to put them online. I was like, how come I haven't done this already? This just made so much sense. So I'm looking forward to getting on working on my website and fixing that up, because it's so funny, you have a website and it just constantly evolves, and it's like you need someone constantly updating the website as well. But I'll post the link in the comments for the chakra ebooks. I'm super excited to have them available for you now. If you've got any questions, just post them in the comments. I'm happy to come back and answer this thread. I will do that on Monday. If someone's watching the replay and you've got a question for me, please just post it in. I don't do this very often, so I'm in a very answering questions mode today. So if you're watching the replay, I will answer your comment if you post in the comments. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're getting some of this sunbeam energy. I'm loving the sunlight today. It's so beautiful. Remember to keep it really real. Stay connected to your heart. Namaste.